Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing today? I'm here working on the bunny journal. So today I thought I'd work on some pages and I'll show you what I've already done and then I'll show you an example of how I made the pages. But this is how it turned out, the cover so far. You saw most of this, I won't go over it, but I did add some burlap here and here. I felt like this picture needed something to frame it on the top and bottom. And I did want the green to show, so I just cut a piece of this burlap in half, and that's how I got these little strips, and I frayed the edges. So if you have any questions about that, just let me know. Here's the back, looking good, looking good. Here's a little string that I need to cut off. Little string, little thread, whatever. Okay, and then here's the inside. I did add this little piece of rickrack here too, like I said I thought I might, and I did. So that's the cover so far. And I pulled out some papers here to use for pages, and I've made these two so far. And you know how fast the time goes on video, and you know I only do 30-minute, pretty much 30-minute videos. So since I don't like have an hour or anything, I wanted to save a little time. So I did these two pages. And these, I thought, I'm going to make one more with you. And these are the covers for each signature. And I thought I would make 3 signatures. So, like, here's one. And I kind of went with looking for papers. These papers right here I picked out because they had a lot of yellow and green in them. And as you can see, and as you probably already saw, even the sky is yellow here. So I thought, well, yellow and green, definitely, you know, yellow and green. Yellow and green, that's pretty much what you see here. So I thought I would go, you know, predominantly yellow and green. So this page right here, I picked up because it has yellow and green here, and it had this pretty like newsprint here, and it has to do with tea. It's a tea themed little like article or something here, or something you'd see in a cookbook or something all about tea, or maybe a tea book, but really cute. So, and I'm going to sew this down later. I just kind of glued it together a little bit on the edges just to keep it together until I get a chance to sew it together. And this one too, I did the same thing. See how pretty that is? Yellow and green. And then here's the inside, yellow, and I put a piece of that I cut off from down here and used it as pockets there. So covers for our signatures. Here's the one I'm going to work on right now. This one, those I cut off the bottom and then attach them. This one I'm going to fold up. So this one I will, let's see, I'll use these. I'm using these as my template. The page is already cut because I measured and, you know, did whatever measuring I needed to do and cut those. So I'll do the same thing here. So I'm going to fold this up as where I need to fold up from my pocket. So I'll make a little fold right there. There's no problem with folding this scrapbook paper. It doesn't crack or, you know, it bends very nicely. I didn't even need or it folds nicely. I didn't even need my scoreboard. So I have it right here in case I needed it, but it didn't try to crack on me or anything. So, and I don't know what kind of scrapbook paper this is. I don't think it has any of the little top, you know, pieces that you cut off or anything, because I got it at a thrift store. And this is how it was. It wasn't in a pad. It was just these separate pieces in a stack. And that's how I found it. So, okay, so this is our pocket. I think we're going to have to cut off some off the side in a second, but let's go ahead and get our pocket. So this is how, you know, I measured my length of my page, and then I'm just going to cut this down to size. So I'm going to cut about half of this off. And then I'll have the right measurement or right height for my pocket. I just want to make sure this is square here. It looks a little lopsided. Let me just fold this again here. It looks a little lopsided. We don't want a lopsided pocket, do we? No. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to cut this about in half. Yeah, that looks decent. That looks good. And so there we go. Cut a little strip off the bottom. I'm putting all my scraps in my little basket, my little organizer basket over there. And then I think I guess I'm going to leave it like this because I want this yellow on the outside. I kind of have, you know, these are going to be covers for the signatures, and I kind of want, see, I thought maybe this would be the first one. When you open up the journal, you'll see this, and this will be the cover for the first signature, and you get through that, all the pages or whatever's in there, and then you'll see this, the newsprint. So it's like flowers, newsprint, and this will be the second signature, whatever pages are in here, and then you'll see yellow again. So, I want to leave this on the inside because it's not yellow. So, see, I've had method to my madness. See how pretty that all looks together? Okay, so let's see. We've got a little bit of something sticking out here, but I said we didn't cut our width yet anyway, did we? Oh, I think we did. Yeah, we did. Okay, I guess we did. I forgot. Okay, so where is my page? We're working on this one. You know, when I open it up, it looks good, but when I fold it, well, you know what? Let's cut our little piece here. So this is how I do my pocket. So I folded that up, and I know I've showed this before, but in case you're new to my channel, then I fold it down. Then I, you know, make sure everything's even there, all my little corners, just to make sure I'm not cutting it crooked or anything. And then I just cut a little triangle here. You can cut it kind of, you know, a little wider, a little thinner, but I just kind of, you know, I don't measure it or anything. I just kind of like, okay, I need a little triangle here. I need it to stay connected here, so I don't want to cut it all the way up to my fold. But about, see, here's my fold right here. So I cut it about, what, a ½ inch or less there. And you can keep this or you can throw it away. I'm throwing mine away. I tried to keep those before and I never did anything with them, so now I'm throwing them away. I know I could punch something, but you know what? Maybe I'll get that out of the trash and put some butterflies out of that. I will do that, I promise. I have little butterfly punches now that I can punch some pretty little butterflies out of there. So sorry, I threw that away. Didn't think about my butterflies. So anyway, here's my little triangle. And now I don't have to glue the bottom because it's a fold. On the other ones I had to glue the bottom. And I don't really, since it's attached, I probably really don't need to glue it at all. The other ones I only glued because they were totally separate. And I glued them back on. And then, like I said, I'm going to sew them. So this is already attached. I know where it's going to go. It's not going to come apart, you know, it's not going to separate and get lost from each other. So now we have our 3 signature covers. So the other pages I have are my, you know, my design team project pages, which are the brown bunny pages. And so let's see. These look too big, don't they? I know what you're saying. They are too big. They're a little bit too big, see? We're going to have to cut these down a little bit. So I'm going to divide these among the signatures, and then we'll see how many pages we have left to work with. And let me get my timer going. I was bad and I didn't start it. We've probably been talking about, have we been talking more than 5 minutes? Let me get it up to about right. Sorry guys. I don't want to get cut off. About right there. Okay, that should be good. And then, so let's divide these and see how many pages. I think I have, let's see, let's just look at them and divide them and then I'll count them. So I've got a brown bunny with a frame, in a frame. I've got this little bunny on a postage related. Here's another postage related. So let's separate those. So we have 1 postage related for each signature. Those kind of look very similar, although they're not the same. And I don't think any of these are the same. That's kind of similar to those, isn't it? So we've got 3 there. I'll show you when I get done. Bring them back over here so you can see good and show you what I got. But this is a lighter page. Let's see, here's a dark one. Let's put the dark ones together. So we'll put 1 dark one in each. Oh, these are very similar right here. These 2. We'll put 1 of those in each signature. Let's see, is there any more like that? Let's see, this one's kind of like that, although it's got a little bit more color than those. This is coffee dyed. Here's another dark one. So we've got 3 dark. We have 3 darks here. Okay, and then so I don't have an even 3s on this. So let me see. Let's put this one here. Well, this is lighter. See, it's kind of lighter like these. So let's put that there. Can you see here? Let me see if you, yeah. So I'm saying it's lighter like these. So that's going that. So each of these has, I have 2 for each signature so far. So what do I have left? Okay, I do have 3 darker ones. So let's put one of the darker ones in each signature. And then, oh, I have 3 left. Okay, so these are not the same, but at least it's 3. So we'll divide those up. Okay, so we ended up with 4 of these for each signature. That's cool. And now let's see how they fit. So the height, wow, the height is just about perfect. I mean, maybe a sliver, but really it's almost, I mean, barely a sliver really. So maybe I won't cut off any height. Let's see the width. Yeah, the width is going to need a little sliver off, so that's good, not too much. Could be worse, right? Okay, so let's see. I don't think I can cut all of these at one time. Let's cut. See if I can cut 4 at one time. And then we'll be done with. I have lots of the Design Team Project Digital Kit ephemera to go through and do fun things with. So that will be another video, but okay, so these can go in here. And then I have these 2 that I need to cut a little bit off the side. And we'll see how they're all fitting in. Really just a sliver, just barely a sliver. So I also I'm excited about, I have a Beatrix Potter book. I don't know if I've shown it to you. I think I did show it to you in my last Thrifty Thursday video. And it is going to be perfect to make some ephemera for this journal. So I kind of want to do that in a video. Just take that book apart and make some ephemera out of it. I think that would be fun. Okay, so there we go. You see, it still needs another sliver off there. And I'm actually not even doing it right, am I? Okay, so let's actually do this right and see what we have. Okay. Sometimes it's a little hard to concentrate when you're doing a video, when you're trying to explain what you're doing, and then you're like, okay, what am I doing? Okay. This one's sticking out a little bit right here. Let's cut a little sliver off. I guess it's this one or these 2. I guess these 2. Maybe they're not exactly straight. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's cut this again. And we are, you know, as you go in, you have to cut more and more off this side so that they don't protrude out from your side edge there. Okay, so that will be like that. Let's see how that is. All part of the process. Okay, so that signature looks good so far. Get all my little pieces here. Maybe we can get this part finished and then we'll do other pages from, I'll show you what else I have pulled out here. Well, I'll tell you, and in case I don't have time to show it to you, but I have pulled out some vintage ledger, some graph paper, and some other papers like that, just like writing papers and things like that I like to put in journals. So let's see. Definitely need some slivers off of these, off the side. So this is probably about 1/8 of an inch I'm taking off. And these pages are, let me tell you, I don't know if I've really told you. The cover was made from a Reader's Digest, so you know what size that is. These pages are a little over 4 3/4, and the length is a little over 7.5. Was it 7.5 or 7 1/4? A little over 7 1/4. So, all right. So we cut this these two. Let's cut these two. 1/8 of an inch again. I'm not measuring though. I'm just kind of like, that looks like 1/8 of an inch. Let's do it. Type of thing. Okay, so I can rearrange these papers later as I insert other pages. I won't keep all of these together exactly like this, but for right now, this is how I'm doing it. Just putting them in here and getting them kind of to the right size. I can always trim them more later, but see how they're all tucked in there and all tucked in there. So that one is the second signature, which I'm going to put right here in our book. And then the next 4 pages. And so I'm sure we're going to have to do the same thing to all these. So let's just do it. I've kind of been putting them inside of each other and then cutting them. Seems to be a good way to keep everything from moving around. You know, if you put them on top of each other separately, they might move a little bit before you cut them or something, so that, you know, they might not cut. You might not get them cut straight. At least that's probably what would happen to me. I can just picture it. So let's see. Get on my little scraps there. Okay, so one more cut here. See, I'm cutting off a little bit off the edges, but it doesn't even, you really don't even know this type of design. You really don't even know that I cut anything off of there. Okay, let's see if they fit in here. Width and length now. Make sure the length is good on all of these. I plan on doing whatever, like tucks and things like that I plan on adding it to the back of these printed pages. See, here's the front and here's the back that I printed on some resume paper, and this resume paper is very vintagey looking. If you can see, it almost looks coffee dyed. And I reprinted these, as the first time I printed them, they didn't print right. So I probably didn't even showed you the newly printed version, but I did show you the smaller version that I printed wrong. So these are the same thing, just printed the right size that I needed. And you know, I printed on one side because I didn't want to take a chance of not printing them right again. So anyway, that looks good, right? Here's what we have so far, and it's shaping up already. Okay, 3 signatures we've got going. Now I will go ahead. Let me see. I think I have some more time. I just set my timer. I feel like I think I have about, well, maybe about 8 minutes. So here's the other papers. This is some paper I found when I was looking at through my scrapbook paper. These two are like printed, I think, but they look like handmade paper. This is some computer stationery, is what I call it, the paper you put through your printer, and you can print, you know, some of it's made for printing letters. I'm not sure what you're supposed to print on here, but it has like a garden entrance is what I thought it looked like. I have some ledger, like regular ledger that I bought at a thrift store, this kind. And then this one is older ledger. Oh no, this is this is vintage graph paper. And this is some other type of vintage graph paper, the green. And then this is just some paper that I thought was cool that I found in my, when I was looking through my scrapbook paper. This kind of, it almost looks like variegated cardboard, but it's paper, and it's got a texture, and it's craft colored. I just liked it. And then here is just a piece I thought I would really like to do something with. It has this pretty rose, and then this looks like coffee dyed paper or vintagey. And then in case I needed any other scrapbook paper, I pulled out this scrapbook paper pad. I don't know, I must have bought this. This is a hot buy, so I might have bought this at Michael's a long time ago. Like I never go to Michael's or buy anything at Michael's hardly, unless I have a gift card. And this, I don't know if they have these at Tuesday Morning, but it looks like a Michael's purchase. But it's very beautiful, isn't it? Yes, it is, but it's one-sided. That's the only thing. And I don't want one-sided right now, so I just pulled it out in case I needed it for, you know, ephemera or something. like that. So let's see. I thought this could be a pocket, like a side pocket. Like I would fold it and it would be a pocket like this, and or pocket page. So let's see, how would we do that? We would put it in here. It would be folded, and we'd have to cut it down quite a bit. It could be, I'm trying to think if it could be anything else. I think I'm going to skip this one for right now because I'm not totally sure about this, but I'm going to put it in my little basket here. See right here, and save it for later because I do want to consider that still. I don't want to say it's out. This, I think I want to use it also kind of the same category as that paper now that I'm thinking about it. So let's put that to the side and this to the side. Okay, so those are all potential. But this right here, I know I do want to use because I like to include my writing papers, and I like to include some vintage papers. So that one, let's see, we've got 3. Should we put 1 in each signature maybe? I kind of like, I don't have to make all the signatures the same, you know what I mean? But let me put 1 in each signature, 1 of these in each signature for right now, and then if I need more, this has got lines on the back too, so it's pretty cool. And then here's a piece of graph. Let's pull 1 of these out for each signature, and then we'll go from there because I want to look at my wallpaper too. I haven't looked at that yet, and see if I want any wallpaper pages. So I don't want to like fill up the signatures with this paper until I look through my wallpaper, decide if I want to use some of that, you know what I mean? I have a lot of vintage wallpaper. So let's put 1 of these in each signature and measure them as long as we have a little time here. And yeah, I still actually think I have a lot of time, so we are good. Okay, so this is starting to brown. You can see how old it is. So let me see. Let's take our little piece out here for a template and get some measuring. So this could be good for possible fold out, but I want to cut off this. This is a rough edge here. I want to cut this off, so I'm going to get my length measurement this way. A little fold here at the top and cut this off. I can see barely. I'm measuring it here. I kind of like have a little bit of space. Like even though this one is measured inside the edges of the book cover, I'm even measuring these a little tiny bit inside the signature cover. You don't have to do that. You can make it exactly even. That's just the way I'm doing it because I just kind of like want to make sure it doesn't go over the top. You know what I mean? So, and it will look fine as long as I cut my page straight. Okay, I think it is straight. Okay. And then I'm going to see if we can make a little fold here. So I'm going to fold it in the middle, like where it would be sewn into the signature. And then I'm going to see, do we have any room for a fold here? See, there's not really room for a fold. See, if it were a fold, it would be barely a fold on this one. So I'm gonna not do a fold on this one, but I'm going to cut off the edge on this one. But I'm going to, if that happens on the next one, I'm going to show you what I try to do if that happens, where we have a tiny fold, but I kind of would like a fold out. I'll show you what I do if I can do it on the next one. If I have a chance to do it with any other paper. So, okay. That wasn't exactly an even cut. What did I do? Let's cut this one better. There we go. I cut both pieces there to get an even cut. Okay, so there we have a piece of graph paper. That will go in that one, and that was this one here. let's see how it goes in between our other pages. So we have the pretty scrapbook cover, and then we have the pretty brown bunny paper, and then a piece of graph paper. So right now we can go ahead and see, is it sticking out? No. My pocket, this is my pocket right here, so I may need to cut that off later. But that's what I'm going to sew, so we'll see how that comes out when I sew it. So we have one extra piece of paper in that one now. Let's go to another signature. And the ledger paper, a lot of times, see, this is like 8.5 by 11, or let's see exactly. Let's see if it actually is 8.5 by 11. It looks like about it 8.5 by 11, but is it 8.5 that way? And yes, it is. Okay. So you fold it in half. See, it's not really wide enough, so these I usually turn because you still have the grid of the ledger either way. So I think that works out well. See, you have lines this way going this way too. You know, this is not lines going that way, but here you have lines going that way. So I think it all works out, you know, and if you have any kind of issues with your lines going in the right direction, you still have lines going in the right direction. So, okay, so is this going to do the same thing as the other one? It really is. So, okay, so here's what I wanted to show you. So, I shouldn't have folded it yet, but here's what I try to do if I say I want to make a fold out, but my page is really too short if I fold it in the middle. I try not to fold it in the middle, so I'm lining it up this side with this edge of this cover, and this side with, you know, where it sticks out over the cover. And now I can make a little fold out because I have all of the extra on one side. So see, I have more to fold over now. So now I can have a little fold out right here. Okay, so actually it, you know, it's still kind of a thin, but it's still enough to fold over now. Before it wasn't really enough to fold over, so I didn't waste that. You know, I didn't have to make a scrap this time. So let's see, let me make sure I'm doing that right. Here's my cover. Let me get the extra pages out of here because they're getting in my way to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I had that over to the side, and I have this over to the side. And I don't want it to protrude where I'm going to have to end up cutting any off here. So let me make sure. I have actually, you know, like I folded pages and I'm like, oh, that's not right, and I refold them, and you would think maybe, oh, it's no good, you folded it, now you're folding it again, and you're going to see all your creases. For some reason, you don't really notice them. I don't. I mean, you probably can if you really wanted to, but and you can always cover it up with some kind of decoration too if you're kind of worried about some kind of extra fold you might have. But really, they just kind of work themselves out as you work with the paper, it seems. They just kind of unfold themselves. See, I folded that twice, and now I'm already not seeing the first fold. So you can't really notice it. So if you're worried about like folding your paper more than once. Now I did fold it here, but I got to make sure I don't fold it there again because that's the middle. So I'm going to actually fold it in here to find out where I need to fold it. Okay, so it's about right. I'm going to make a little crease there. Yeah, so it's about right there where I need to fold it for it to be in the middle of. And does that come out right as far as... Yeah, it looks pretty... I mean, I guess that wasn't the best way to do it. I guess I can just fold it like this. See, I'm just folding it here, even. And then I'll crease it in the middle. Let me just get that straight. Okay, so I've got my two edges together. The fold is in where I folded that page for a flip out. So I'm going to fold right here, and that should be the center where I put it into the signature. It was too, I have to cut off the length still, so yep, so that's right. See how it's inside? And then we're going to cut off the length right here. I'm going to measure it just like this. And I might pull it down a little bit. See, I measured it. It's right at the top of my signature. I'm just going to pull it up a little bit and cut a little bit more, just barely a little bit more sliver off there. So it's just below the top of my the top of my cover, my signature cover. So there we go. We got another page. I probably made that look really hard, but it wasn't. It wasn't that hard. It was just figuring things out, right? We just have to figure things out sometimes. Figure out what we didn't want to do. Okay, so there, that page has, that signature has another page. And now this little green one, so cute. And it's green. Wish I had more of this. It's almost gone. You saw my package. I think I only have a couple more pieces in there. But yeah, I got that at the thrift store. I have some more vintage paper I could pull out. I just, you know, I have a lot out already. I didn't want to pull too much out at one time. That's when I start getting a big mess. I pull too much paper out and then I don't have time to put it away. Okay, so this one looks like I'm going to just maybe, you know what would look cute is just to cut right beside the numbers here, and then in that I'll still have my numbers and this little white part will be gone. So that is okay, I think, to cut that off. Right below my numbers, I said. So let me get that straight. Okay, so I get to keep those numbers. That's awesome. Now there's numbers here I would like to possibly keep, so let's see if we can manage that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut off this white part here and then see if we need to cut off some more at the other end, because that's where my numbers are, and I can cut some off there, but we'll see how much we can keep. See, I get to keep all my green, all my numbers, and my timer is doing something here. Oh, it's time for me to go. Okay, so you saw that one. I'm going to let you go before my camera cuts me off. I'm just going to cuff this little white strip off. And so we've got our 3 signatures going now for this journal. Going to be really pretty covers. And then we'll cut some more pretty pages and start decorating these blank pages here a little bit. We're going to save some of those for writing too, though. So I'll be back with you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Happy crafting.